What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. So what game is it?
Oh, Seahawks are playing the 49ers, but
Really?
it's a low scoring game. We're still 7-0 49ers, but it just keeps going back and forth. We're already almost at the end of the second quarter, and the Seahawks defense is on fucking point, right?
Yeah.
They keep stopping them, but the Seahawks offense is for some reason is not able to bring it home.
Yeah, it's like similar with my team at my hometown. We haven't won a game since like 90 something. Never won a series. But yesterday they won the championship, and we are going to European.
What team is that, bro?
Called ER. It is like I with a slash mark on top, and A stands for the sports team of my hometown.
Okay, that's cool. No, I mean the Seahawks are always in the playoffs. The last Super Bowl they won, well, the only Super Bowl they won was in 2014, and they got to the Super Bowl in 2015. They didn't win it, but I don't know. Now they're doing good, so I might as well just not watch the game, and that probably did the trick.
And I'm interrupting you.
Oh no, you're good, bro. You're good. Not at all. I totally spaced out that there was a game. Because I didn't watch football last season.
I never. We have football here, like American football. There's just a small.
Oh,
league.
really?
Yes, small league. But we are similar to like England, like soccer.
Okay. Yeah. See, to me, football means soccer.
Yeah, it's football. For me, it's football. So.
I made the mistake of coming and saying, "Why do you guys call it football? Is you guys never use your foot? You shouldn't call it that." And then the person goes like, "It's not called football because you use the feet. It's called football because the ball is a foot long."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
There's one sport that I would never try. That's the Australian, New Zealand rugby.
Oh, rugby. Oh, we have that in my country. I played rugby in high school. Yeah.
I just played soccer.
Yeah, no, I played rugby in high school. It's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah.
It's like football, but you have no pads.
Yeah. It's
not even a helmet.
To like American football and MMA that you're probably not going to walk away.
Yeah. No, some fun times there, but yeah, it's pretty brutal. All right, my brother. So tell me a little bit about what we're doing.
Well, it's just a small interview about everything. So it's and congratulations of
what did I do?
The new TBS thing.
Oh,
yeah. I was watching it live when I had my one headphone on. I was like trying to watch it. I was somewhere outside of eating with my missus. I was like, I have to watch this. Yeah, we were driving our daughter to her grandparents. I was sitting in their living room trying to watch, and amazing to see Krennic.
Great, yeah, dude. That guy is walking on a cloud right now, huh?
Yeah, I am actually the first one to use the Be Delicious tag. And he won me. I was like, it was long before I came into MVP, and like this motherfucker stealing my
mojo. No, he's
well deserved. So
yeah, he's a great guy, man. Honestly, I'm so happy that
he was the first one to call me when I was in the hospital. When I had he was like the first one to.
That's one thing about Krennic is that he is dedicated to his brothers, man. Not just the Romania guys. He's on it with everybody, man.
Yeah,
everybody. And I know every morning when he wakes up, he puts his camera on, and he does morning coffee with whoever wants to join. So
yeah. But the problem is like it's like 6 a.m. here.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And it's something like I'm not going to wake up 6 a.m. to drink coffee. Well, I will do that, but I want to sleep in on weekends.
Yeah, no, I'm not a morning person, man. I'm going to be the first one to say that. Whenever somebody goes like, "Well, I wake up at 5 a.m," good for you.
Yeah, I have to wake up like 5:30.
So there's no way.
Yeah, I have to wake up like 5:30 a.m. every single day to go to work. But weekends, I want to sleep in.
Yeah, no, I'm more of a late night kind of person. So, hold on, I think we scored. See, I think I'm gonna stay here with you for the rest of the game. That's
Like
what's
when I have
working.
my free time up,
Yep.
I just play
Score.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I had to start playing that game
Yeah.
from the
You know
beginning
what I
again.
started doing? I started playing the God of War, the God of War, the fourth one, the one that he's
Viking.
yeah, the one that he's with the whole Viking lore.
Yeah.
And I played that way back when it came out, and I've started getting more into the Viking lore and everything recently, ever since I started kind of having more contact with the beer struggle on the whole Viking theme. So I went like, okay, I gotta nerd out on this stuff, because you know, when we get a scent out there or something, and it kind of needs to make sense, right? We can just grab Viking and slap it on the label and then not really make sure that it kind of matches with the lore and all that. So now that I started getting a little bit more into it and learning the history and the mythology and all that, I was always more of a Greek mythology kind of guy. So God of War was always my wow, the significance that it has to me. You know, I see all these amazing characters and the chimeras and all the monsters from all the, you know, from the Greek mythology, and I was very impressed. I was very taken by it. And then when it came into the Viking mythology, the Norse mythology, it didn't have much significance to me the first time I played it, but this time that I'm playing it, huge difference. Because now,
and I can't wait to play the newest one, the God of
Ragnarok,
War. Ragnarok, yeah.
But see, when I started playing it now, I got like, holy shit, a lot of things that I'm starting to see have so much significance. And I am seeing the manas absolutely everywhere in that game. I started taking pictures every time you see the manas. So I go the back of the God of War, the back of Kratos, and then the manas, and all over the place. And I was starting it was a lot different playing it now than playing it back then.
Yeah, it's like I learned about the Vikings when I was in school, and learned about all the Vikings that were here in Iceland and who went to North America and technically found North America and Greenland. Eric the Rat is claimed to have found North America. And when I go sheep herding, like I said 2 weeks ago, you drive actually past his house. So I'm actually from that area where Eric the Rat lived.
Awesome.
So
yeah, well, I was watching. I don't know how accurate it is, but the Vikings, the show, the one, I think, did the History Channel make that? I think it was a History Channel, right?
I think also History Channel and some other guys, I think.
That's why I figured, well, this must be pretty accurate. You know, History Channel doesn't really do much fiction. But I asked some people, it looks like the characters are kind of accurate, but it's not really super accurate.
The story isn't like real, but like the song that is really famous now, like My Mother Told Me.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast. It's called The Ghost of the Pasts. There's two Icelandic guys, and one of them is the guitarist in the Icelandic rock band Skálmöld. It's really famous worldwide. And his friend, he's a historian. And I found out where that song actually came from. There was a guy called Aett. He was 7 years old when he killed his first guy. And his mother told him a poem that she technically wrote about him, and it starts with my mother told me. So that's actually the original track. It's from 800 something or 900.
Wow.
So they took that part of that poem and made a song out of it. So it's a lot of music or stories in the Vikings are technically from the books, but it's like with all stories that are made into film or episodes or whatever, they have to change it a little bit to make it fit.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Today.
A little bit of creative freedom to be able to adjust it and make it interesting and all that. But I didn't know if the part that, you know, when Loki goes and I think he discovers Iceland.
Yeah.
Iceland, was it that he discovered? No, Greenland and Iceland. He discovers both, right?
Yeah.
In the show, he goes away, he takes people there, the whole thing starts, right? And then they go, so Greenland had like, it was all ice, and then they go to Iceland and it's all green, right? And then from there they get lost and they drift away, and that's when what's his name, one of the Ragnar's son, Uba, he arrives on what they call Vinland, right? and they see the Native Americans over there, and Loki was already chilling over there with them. And not Loki, Floki, sorry.
Floki,
was already-
Raven Floki.
Floki was already chilling with them. So I didn't know if that part was accurate or not, but I've always heard that Vikings were the first ones, even before, you know, the Spanish.
Yeah. I always sometimes tell
Christopher
my friends in the States, like, do you know actually the history of North America? Yeah, Christopher Columbus found it. Well,
Right.
we found it right about 1,000 years before the Vikings. They sailed from
Yeah.
Iceland. Were
Well, I
going-
mean, the natives found it before too.
yeah,
right?
it's like here in Iceland, like the Vikings found Iceland. We had actually had monks here.
Yeah, that to me was very interesting to find out
Yeah.
that story.
And the Raven Floki actually came here, I think it was over the winter time. That's why it's called Iceland. If I remember it right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So they probably
So that is true. He's the one that found.
yeah, he is one of, you can actually see a statue of him on the challenge that I made. There's a guy with ravens. He had 3 ravens with him to find
And that's
land.
Floki?
That's Floki, Raven Floki.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And there's a lot of things that are accurate in the stories, but we don't know.
Yeah, right. I mean, how are you gonna find out if something
Yeah, I mean, the
happened so long
Viking
ago?
was from 873 up to like 1,000
Yeah.
something. I mean,
History is written by those who survive it, right?
yeah,
So we have no way of knowing if that was actually the truth or not. But
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. But it makes for a good show for sure.
yeah,
'Cause,
it's also good to have shows like that to show. But the problem is, like, people think they were just brutal guys, but people most around the world doesn't know that they were just farmers,
right.
and businessmen and all that. And of course they had to raid somewhere to get their
Yeah. I mean, but the
money.
world was brutal back then. It's
Yeah,
not- I mean, I love one thing that they would call them. So something that I read when we were starting at Beer Struggle, you know, every time we're gonna make a new product, we kind of start trying to find the folklore and see if that product was actually, you know, part of the folklore, because that's how we want the names to come on and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when we were looking into you know, the body wash was happening and all that, we were thinking about soap and all this, and we figured out the Vikings really had something that they used as soap that would
Yeah.
actually also make their hair. The soap was so strong that it
Yeah.
would dye their hairs. So that's
Yeah.
why they were all like blonde white hair. But
Yeah.
the British, when they arrive, and I don't know if this is true or not. I read it on the internet, so it must be true. And if it's not, I'll put it on the internet as soon as we are done with this.
Yeah.
It's so it will be true. So that they would call them clean freaks because they would shower once a week. Not shower, but they would go and clean themselves,
Eighth.
you know, very deeply once a week.
Yeah.
And they were the clean freaks.
Yeah. It's like one story here in Iceland that they made used cow piss.
What is that?
Just a piss from a cow.
Oh, cow piss.
Yeah. And that was because there's a lot of nutritions in
Yeah.
this. They used it in their hair, in their beards, and yeah, I think
Sounds
I'd
very
rather
appealing.
choose shampoo
Yeah.
today or bleach.
Super appealing.
Yeah,
No, but it's very interesting to know the story. That one thing that I like the most about these stories of Vikings is that women always have such a big part in it.
Yeah.
And I love that because whenever we think of that whole, I'm gonna get myself in trouble here, but that whole women are weak kind of thing, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
Women
I
are
mean,
strong,
like-
smart, ridiculous. They're ridiculously more cunning than men by far, right?
That-
So
that's why they always say, like, behind every Viking is a shield maiden. I mean,
right.
so if women wouldn't be around, we wouldn't be here. So
But what I'm thinking is, we stand to reason that with women being as much more cunning as men, as I mean, let's be honest, men, yes, they're physically stronger, whatever you want. But when it comes to being cunning and precise and planning. Women are far better than we are at that. So it would stand to reason that they'll become like the puppeteers. But I love how in the Viking lore, they're like badass, dude. They go shoulder to shoulder with dudes just fighting in the battlefield. And I love that part of history, because when you look at the history of other countries, of other civilizations, other cultures, there's always dudes going to war. And it's very rare that there's going to be an army of women. And if it was an army of women, like what you got, the Amazons in Greek history, but it was all women. It was just like a society of women, and that's why their army was women. But I find it incredible that in the Vikings, the women were like, no, fuck yeah, we're going to war too.
Yeah.
And they will go, I don't know if it's true or not. That's the thing. I don't know how much of it is true, how much of it is embellished story. But I love the fact that I love to think that it is true, and they were like just that much of a badass.
Yes, like in the Icelandic history, like the Viking stories, the women are actually one of the biggest parts of that story, because if the guy went to sea, to work or raid or whatever, there was always the women. They'd always told their oldest son, keep your mother safe, but who was the first one to grab a sword if something happened?
Yeah,
it was the women, because
Mama
they
Bear.
were trying to save their house. They were trying to save their family. It's the mother's strength that is still today. So that's the I think
Absolutely.
that the only thing that is left from the Viking Age is the strength of the mother. So that, especially that sentence, the strength of the mother, is so powerful. Like a mother can lift a car to save her kid.
Right.
That's-
Yeah, those
that's
stories,
just
you know,
amazing. That
yeah, no,
our dad,
that's
and
one thing I
even
love
dad
about
is
it.
just like grabbing our nose. So is he doing stuff?
Yeah. Hey, I got a question. I'm trying to figure something out. Is my camera inverted? Can you read that?
Yeah, I can read that.
Oh, okay, because it looks backwards to me.
I can read that.
It looks like it's mirrored to me. So I didn't know if it was if that's the way it looked. Because I've been trying to play with Zoom and figure it out. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
started
useless
using
with
Zoom on some. I don't
technology.
remember. I think it was some town hall that I started using Zoom. So
Yeah.
not that far. Like I've been in the MVP since April.
Yeah, I didn't use Zoom until the whole COVID started.
Yeah.
Before
I'm
then, it
always
was
working,
like,
so I'll never use my computer anymore. So
yeah,
unless I'm writing music, so
yeah, exactly. I mean, after COVID, I think that's when all these internet tools became more and more
yeah.
famous, and now you can't escape them. I mean, I work from home now, so
Yeah, I wish I could work from home. I'm a truck
it's
driver.
Zoom, Slack, all the things are from home.
Yeah. If it was so easy for me to just press a button and my truck will drive, that would be so easy.
Yeah,
So,
I do miss going out though, dude.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, this is actually the first question. Like, what is the story behind the MVP? How did it start, actually?
How did the MBV?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a cool story. So, as you know, the brand Viking program and the beer struggle, it really started getting a lot of traction right when COVID started, right? And before COVID started, I used the products, but I wasn't really involved very heavily with the beer struggle at all. I wasn't even. I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't even using Instagram. Barely using Instagram. I was on the first. I used to work in the fitness industry. That means that the first quarter in the fitness industry is very, very busy. You know, new year, new me, kind of goals and all that. So it's very, very busy in the first quarter. So I was not even on the internet during that time. Now, when COVID happened, suddenly I was like, well, I mean, the 12 hours that I was spending at my club, what am I going to do now? So I started kind of getting into the Instagram thing, and I found the beer struggle. And I went into that program, the brand Viking program. And once I got in, I started meeting a whole bunch of guys, and I put a message out there saying like, hey, anybody wants to I want to grow my Instagram presence. Now that I'm home, I'm going to work a little bit on that. Anybody want to do that, want to support each other, just shoot me a message, you know, and we can do that. We can make that happen. And there were a couple of guys, I don't remember exactly how many they were when they contacted me, but Jan had a group together, a core group that they were using Discord to help each other with their Instagrams and whatnot. So he ended up inviting me to that group. So from there, we started being, we were brand Vikings and we were in the Facebook group, but we had our own thing that we would help each other. We had our engagement group. So every time one of us would post, we would let each other know, support each other, kind of help, beat the algorithm sort of thing. And we started being way close. I mean, that's what today in the Midgard Vikings are called, are known as the founders. Anybody that you see that has, where is it? Anybody that you see that has that one right there?
Yeah.
That means that he was part of that core group that we started putting together. After that, I remember I was part of the Harley owners group, like that riding club.
Yeah.
So, and I liked very much what Harley Davidson had done with their Harley owners group across the world, 1 million members and everybody, they created this subculture that was so impressive. And I remember sending a letter to Faisal. Well, I actually sent a letter to Beer Struggle. I didn't even know who Faisal was. And I sent a letter to the Beer Struggle, and this guy Faisal I sent a document saying we should do something like this, and I still have it. And I found it the other day, and I shared it with the guys in the High Council. The whole document made like a whole proposal of how we should do something that is very similar to what Harley Davidson does with the Harley Owners Group, and have people all over the world that will get together in their communities and help their communities and help each other. And I send that to him, and then this guy Faisal calls me, and I'm talking to him. He goes, "All right, bro, sell me on it." And I'm like, "Who are you?" Because I didn't know who he was. So I go like, what do you do in the company? "Oh, I'm the owner." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, cool." So then I started kind of telling him what the idea was. And with this happening, Jan was already being brought into the Beer Struggle as a person that was going to be what he does now, right? The person in charge of the community and all that. And so we started kind of working on the whole. I worked on the whole frame of it, and I gave it to Faisal, and then Faisal and Jan started kind of going for it. In the meantime, in all this, I was in doing my own thing. I wasn't working for the Beer Struggle yet. And then the whole brand Viking program and the ads and everything started kind of flourishing. And at one point, I came to work for the Beer Struggle on a part-time basis, basically to provide leadership training to the people that were acting as generals and warlords in the Beer Struggle. So basically, me coming into the company was Faisal saying like, "Hey, I would like for you to do leadership training for this guy." So I'm like, "Perfect, no problem." So I came in kind of like a part-time basis, and started having interviews with the generals and the warlords, and we started having kind of a monthly meet in which we would talk about leadership and how to approach all that. And then out of that, at one point, I started getting more and more involved in Beer Struggle, and Faisal asked me to come in full time.
Yeah.
When I came in full time, that was around, I would say, around October, November. And that is when I got together with Jan, and I was assigned all the side of the Beer Struggle that takes care of everything that has to do with brand Vikings and what was going to be Midgard Vikings. And the whole idea behind it was making something that was going to be more of a brotherhood, and it was going to be more exclusive, more tied together, a lot more united, like what we have right now. But the problem that we had with that was that there were a lot of people that were brand Vikings that were already in the Bearded Villains, Bearded Rebellion, Titans, like all those other bearded clubs out there. And there were a lot of guys that were in those places, and they wouldn't be able to participate if we turned the brand Vikings into a brotherhood. The moment we turned the brand Viking into a brotherhood, a lot of those guys would have to leave because by their own bylaws, they would not been allowed to participate. So we figure, well, how about we create two roads then? Let's make a secondary parallel thing happen in which we keep the brand Vikings the way they are, and we create this thing that we didn't even know what the name was going to be yet. We create this thing in which we can have a parallel organization that is a brotherhood that works with a set of bylaws, and people come closer together. They get to meet with their brothers locally, help their communities, and do all this thing, get more and more involved into a brotherhood without having to exclude people from the brand Viking program. So whoever wants to come in and participate, welcome. We're not going to have restrictions. If you're already in another club, you can't, in another club or brotherhood, you can't participate in ours. We never put that type of restriction, but we made it a separate thing. So If this is not your cup of tea, you can stay with the brand Vikings. If you're in the brand Vikings, you're not with any other organization, and you want to get a little bit deeper, delve a little bit deeper into the Brotherhood side, then you can jump and come in and join us on this part. And that was the conversation we started having with Jan. At that time, I remember I was a provi, they call it a provi, like I was on probation with the Bearded Villains, and I ended up declining I ended up stepping out of that because I wanted to be a part of forming this thing. I wanted to be on the ground level of making this organization, the Midgard Vikings, happen. So with Jon, we started thinking about what are we going to call it? So we ended up going back and forth with a bunch of different names, and the other day we're remembering some of the names that we had in mind, and they were just ridiculous. Right now I can't think of any, but we had some names that were like, nah, bro, we can't do that. Midgardians, I think, was one of them. And I remember the first logo was the serpent biting its own tail and the menace in the middle, super simple. And then we started playing with a lot of things, and then we came up, okay, Midgard Vikings Brotherhood. That's it. You know, we're Vikings. Where do we live? We live in Midgard. What are we? We're a brotherhood. That's it. Simple. You know, and then when we started coming with the mission, vision, the values, then we started thinking, hey, what happens with people that are not of Viking lineage? Are they going to be able to participate in this, or is it going to exclude them? So I figured now. So we came up with something called the Viking state of being. We're not Vikings out of being of Viking blood. We're Vikings out of reclaiming the Viking state of being, that spirit of that pursuit of excellence, that, you know, always wanted to be better, always pushing for more. Yeah. And then came the values that we have nowadays, and everything started coming together. And that was pretty much between November and December of last year. And then we started writing the bylaws. We spent a fuck load of days just floating ideas back and forward, thinking about, okay, what are we going to do with people that don't have full beards? How are we gonna access? So then we started thinking about the whole different categories for the beard, you know, having
the levels,
the berserkers, the goatee gladiators, and those names, by the way, they were all young. Young came with suddenly started going like beardzerkers. No, I don't know who came up with berserker, but and he goes goatee gladiators. I was like, damn, sideburn soldiers. What? Mustache militia. And I was loving it. And he came out with all that stuff. And then we started writing all that stuff down. And all in the meantime, we were just showing what we got to Faisal. And Faisal was going like, well, I don't know if I like this. So we would tweak it around a little bit. And then we came out with the values. The values at the beginning were 3. And Faisal started talking about the fact that, you know, well, don't we shoot for growth? Don't we shoot for growth within our men? We want to make men that are going to be able to grow as professionals, as fathers, as husbands, as you know, as pillars of their communities. So we figured, yeah, absolutely. So growth needs to be there. That's why we ended with, you know, with the input of Faisal, that we ended up coming with our 5 values. And from that point forward, we started adding everybody that was the warlords, got him on board. Then we got the generals, and we started kind of putting everything together, and we launched it in January. We barely were able to launch it in January because the logo, well, you remember the logo at the beginning was different, and then we ended up switching it, right? So the logo at the beginning, we just put it out because we were like running out of time, so we went with it. And then we got Troy coming on board. When Troy came on board, suddenly he designed that logo, and we were like, at first we were kind of married to the logo. We were like, come on, man, do we really want to change the logo now? And then when we saw the one that Troy did, we're like, yep, fuck it, let's go. I think it was, yeah, go ahead.
I remember like some years ago, like with the TBS, I started using the TBS products this year, but I had them on Snapchat since like from the beginning, when they were still at home, and I was watching Dagi and all the guys then. And when I started the brand Viking program, I started using the products. Then all of a sudden I saw the commercial, like I had to join. And I told them on Instagram, I've been watching you since the time of Snapchat. And they went like, what? That's so many years ago. And then I asked, because I saw the MB sometimes on the brand Viking page, and I wanted to see what it was. So I asked about it, and I got contacted by Sean, the warlord, and he introduced me to some guys, and in 5 minutes I was in the MLB, and it was most amazing time being freeman and recruit. And because the first 30 days, I've never thought there was a group of guys like this, and I was like, wow.
So you went through the whole process. See, that is amazing, because a lot of people. So when you see, for example, when we go here, you have founders. What does founder mean? Founders are the guys that were part of. I think it was about 45 guys that were part, and not all of them are with us right now, by the way. So it's probably about half that are still in the MBB. There are the guys that were part of the beginning, way back when it was brand Vikings, and we had it on Discord. The aett were not a thing yet. Warlords, generals were not a thing yet. Nothing was a thing yet other than the brand Viking program, right? And those are those guys. Then you have the guys that are old guard, right? Old guard means anybody that was a warrior in the aett, when it was brand Vikings, it wasn't MBB yet, all the way to January 31st of 2021. The guys that were warriors before then, they were all considered old guard. Now, the cool thing about the old guard, I don't know if the cool thing or the different thing about the old guard, is that they never went through the process of freeman and recruit.
Yeah.
No, they went through a process of recruit. We had process of recruit back then, but they never went through a freeman process and all that. So by the time we founded the MBB, it was already, those guys were already very, very involved and participant in the brand Viking group. But then after that, after January 31st, anybody that came after, they are guys that went through their whole process, the whole freeman, recruit, then being voted in. So that was basically the first wave of guys that were born into the Brotherhood, like out of pure bylaws, just following the exact bylaws that were written. And I think that has been a good process so far. I know it's a short process. A lot of organizations have 6 months to a year to even get in. We had to make it a little shorter because we have a lot of people that have been with us for a long time. We know who they are, but we still need to have some sort of process. And I think that process eventually is gonna get, I would say, it's gonna be a little longer. There's going to be a little bit more time in the recruit process and all that. Mainly not because we want to restrict entrance to anybody, but we want to make sure this is what you want.
Yeah.
Once you are voted in and you're given your patch, and you're called a brother and you're called a warrior of the MBB organization, you have to be sure that this is what you want, not now, but 5 years from now,
for the long run. Yeah.
For the long run, right? Because this is not, we become family. And if we're going to be family, you need to be 100% absolutely fucking sure that you want to be a part of this. And that is what we want to achieve with that process.
Yeah, it's like, I remember like when I was a freeman, when I got my first vote, like up to recruit, I was speechless. I'm like, okay. Then I was like, at the moment I forgot that I had 30 days. I'm like, okay, well, I'm blessed. And then I was in a cabin with my family when I was upgrade up to warrior.
You got voted in without even knowing.
Actually, I wasn't even in 60 days. I was in like 40 days. And all of a sudden I got a text from my general. It called me and like, you're upgraded. Like, what? And then I was driving, I don't know, I came home after like 3 days, because I've been doing so much thing, like all the videos and all the pictures and all that. And I got a call from Paul, the general, and he was talking to the officers at the same time. And he all of a sudden, like after 3 days, been promoted up to warrior, and like, I have an offer for you. I'm like, what? We want to promote you up to a promoter. I'm like, what? And I was like, I was speechless. I was like, is this really happening?
You got a little fast track from recruit to officer.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm still like, huh, that was fast. That was like, huh. I've been putting a lot of work into everything, and I mean, and later that month, I was tagged in one chat. I was like, what's happening? I saw it on my phone, or like on my watch. I was like, well, I have to look at this because I saw my name. I'm like, what the hell is that? Then I was the member of the month. I was like, what? That was when the XOs was called in,
Yeah.
and Yonmi was called in, and I was like, what happened? We had a problem. I'm like, what? It never had been like this tight, like the Z, about a member of a month, and I was more and more speechless every single day. So that's,
and I mean that's a matter of I mean, sometimes it takes longer, but sometimes you just know, right? There are people that are just fully committed from day one, and you know right on that first month, you know, yeah, this guy's gonna go all the way.
yeah,
But we gotta follow the process.
yeah,
But you know it's gonna be like that. And some guys just jump both feet in, and they just go all the way. And I love when I see that, because that commitment is what it's all about. It's why we do what we do, and what's going to carry us for years and years on end,
yeah.
right?
And like, is it something? Do you see that the globe, like, would you want to see a global meetup sometime in the future?
Fuck yeah,
Hell yeah.
absolutely. I mean, the world that we live in right now makes it a little bit challenging, right? It's not only a matter of the cost that it would be to do something like that, and we have to be very, very well organized to be able to make it not only financially viable, but we will have to make it in a place where it's not unfair for a whole bunch of guys, having to travel, and then halfway across the world to get to a point. We would have to find the perfect spot. But at the same time, I think the most challenging part of it right now is the fact that we live in the post-COVID world. Yeah. And it's very, very hard to travel, right? So we don't know what type of restrictions are going to be in place, so it's hard to plan ahead on something that you don't know. The situation can flip-flop 4 or 5 times in a matter of months. Yeah. So for example, we had the USA meet planned for August, right? And then we figured, okay, so we're going to all be meeting in August. It's about February, March now. So by August, everything should be open. Fuck it, it's not going to be a problem. We were getting closer and closer to the date, and suddenly we're like, nothing is open. Everything is still the same. We don't know how this is going to play out. A lot of guys did not want to commit to something that we didn't know if suddenly we bought the plane tickets and we were not going to be able to go or something like that. So we figured, why don't we wait until everything is opened up, and then we can plan out and do really, really good meetups. And again, we are on our first year. So that means we are still on the organizational part. We are still testing the bylaws. We're still having to change bylaws every couple of months, having to tweak a thing here and there that suddenly we realized we didn't have the age limitation on the bylaws, right? So suddenly we're like, hey, what's the age? And we're like, oh shit, we didn't put that. So now we got to amend that. So we had to put 18 years of older, and all that. So I think there is something that happened with the MBB that doesn't happen with many organizations of our type of organization, right? Brotherhoods usually start with a couple of guys, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 guys that decide to do something together. And then from there, they form one chapter, and then they start bonding. And then they start making it real cool. And then some guy from another place, hey, I want to do the same with you guys. So they start opening little chapters here and there, right? But by the time they start opening chapters, they've been together for a long time. They established the culture. They established everything they want to be. And it grows from a small chapter into a whole thing. Yeah. This is what happened to Midgard Vikings. We dropped with 500 members in 20 countries. Yeah. So suddenly it's not just as easy to manage the culture of a brotherhood that starts small and then expands than to manage the culture of a brotherhood that suddenly it drops in 20 countries and 500 members, because we started big and now we need a structure that will account for that size. Yeah. And I think the first year for us should be more focused on establishing our culture, establishing who we are, what our mission is, what we're going to do, make sure that everybody feels comfortable with the bylaws, make sure that everybody is abiding by the bylaws, even, halfway across the world. And once we have that structure, then I think that's going to be the time for us to say, all right, let's start figuring out how we do regional meets, world meets, and all that stuff once we have the organization. Because we're not yes, this is about fun and about hanging out with brothers, but at the same time, we're looking to become a charitable foundation that will literally help improve communities. Yeah. I mean, we have a hefty goal of $100,000 in charity this year, and we're almost 70% to that at this point. And
it's also awesome, like from the guys in Australia had that fundraising to help the animals there after the fires last year.
Mhm.
That's amazing that how they think outside of the box. Like, okay, we live here and we want to make us more visual, and we want to help the community to build something that is the
Yeah.
signature of Australia, the koalas, the kangaroos, and all that. And they're trying to keep that image still.
Yeah, and
Living.
Australia has been doing so good, man.
Yeah.
They have been doing fantastic.
And I mean, it's like for our aett, the Scandinavian aett. Is it that's something specific that you want to see from us, like what we are doing? Because we are 5 guys that are technically controlling 5 countries, all in different places in Scandinavia, like 1 in Norway, 3 in Sweden, and me in Iceland. So that's kind of hard to be on the place that we are so.
That's the famous section 6.
Yeah.
Where I would like to see the Scandinavian aett. I think it's the same thing with every region. I mean, there's something that happens in Europe. When we think about it, we think about the countries in Europe, and then you look at the United States, and you see the size of the states in the United States, and a lot of states are bigger than entire countries.
Yeah.
In Europe, right? So suddenly, when you say we have 5 countries, we're not I would say scared by that, because we see here that some states are so far apart from each other.
Yeah.
Like in Washington, where I am, you have to drive about 3 to 4 hours from the brother that is all the way up in the north of the state to the brother that is all the way in the bottom of the state. You have to drive 3 to 4 hours to connect those two. So when you think about it, those distances are massive. And right here, we're managing by state. Now, what do I see as a vision, not only for Scandinavian, but for all the aets, is micro chapters that are very tied to a community, not to an entire country or to an entire state. That is cool to have an entire country, but I think it would be much more effective in the future. Right now, because of a matter of numbers, right? We have to unify entire countries or entire regions. We have to unify them into one, just for a matter of numbers. But as the numbers grow, I think the ideal thing would be, for example, if I live in the city of, I don't know, New York, it would be nice to have a New York chapter. If I live in the city of Maryland, USA, somewhere, I would like to see a chapter just for the Maryland. Like much like you see, for example, the Lions Club, that when you walk, you enter a city and it says welcome to the city, and you have different signs that says which clubs or organizations are in that city. I would like to see one that says Midgard Vikings and the city that you're entering, and you know that's one chapter. That's what I would like to see. What city do you live on?
I live in the capital, Reykjavik.
Reykjavik. I would love to see Midgard Vikings Reykjavik. Not even the whole country. I would like to see Reykjavik, and then have each city have their. But in order for us to do that, that's going to be years and years and years down the line, so we can get the recruitment that we need to be able to have chapters at that level, right? To have the aets at that level.
Yeah.
But that's what I see.
I mean, that idea is also like, it's like you said, have undergroups that are in one main, like for example, for Scandinavia, then we have the Swedish, the Norwegian people, the people from Finland, Iceland, Estonia, and also have more undergroups. That would be amazing to see, because like at the moment we are 2 here in Iceland. Yeah, we have 1 recruiter. So it would be one day, like you said, in the common future, that it would be awesome to have Reykjavik chapter.
Well, that's what's happening right now with Australia. Australia has Guam with them. Then they have a guy in Guam that he just got patched in, and he's with the Australian aett, basically because section 6, of our bylaw says that if there's no chapter, what's going to happen is the people from that place will join the chapter that is the closest, up until the point they have 5 patched warriors from that region, and that's when they can open their own chapter.
And
So we
I
have
was like,
Guam, New Zealand, all those guys are waiting for the same thing. Same
Yeah.
thing with Romania. Romania has about like 5 countries attached to them.
yeah, I think it was
Ukraine is-
also like awesome for me to go into the Norsemen, because especially from the history, like
yeah.
they came from Norway and to Iceland. So I was like, huh.
You guys are kind of like where we are stealing everything from, right? Because we're grabbing your culture and just expanding it to everybody, and you
Yeah.
have suddenly Vikings wearing cowboy hats here in the United States, but it's, and you guys were I feel like for you guys this is much more personal and much more, from the inside and from your history, and suddenly
from the roots. Yeah.
exactly everything that you see in when we're talking about Vikings and Norsemen and Viking lore and all that, to us it's something from far across the world. Some people might have Viking lineage, some might not, but to you guys is your history, is literally your history.
Yeah.
As you go back, and it's where you guys came from. So I think for the Scandinavian chapters, and whatever chapters derive of the Scandinavian, all the Norse chapters, I think for you guys it's going to be a very special thing, because you wear it. I think you wear it with a different, I don't want to say different pride, because I think everybody's proud of it, but you wear it with a different sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Than because it connects you to your history.
It's like
that's something that I see in the Scandinavian.
It's like when we did our last charity, the summer charity, when we were picking up trash. The idea was like, okay, we want to do that because when the time of the Vikings, they were sailing and we were walking down the beach or forest, we didn't have plastic then. So we wanted to do like similar,
Yeah.
trying to help the world to be a better place and have it as close as their time, because of course they throw something in the ocean that drift away or sunk or something, but they didn't have plastic bags, or they didn't kill the animals because they were slobs.
Yeah. No, I love those initiatives of cleaning, picking a place and cleaning it. I got the chance to do that when I was with the Bearded Villains here in Washington. We went and we did a charity that was called Getting Trashy, and that was it. It was just dudes going and cleaning up a park or I don't know the word in English, where you go and you run and there's a whole path that goes around a lake or something like that. So we went and we cleaned that, and it felt good, man. It felt good to suddenly realize, holy shit, we have about 5-6 big bags of trash.
Yeah.
That was actually laying there, and that was a clean park, by the way. We went to a park that was super clean, but it was very rewarding to feel like people took time out of their day, and it was a Saturday, and people took time out of their Saturday to spend hours cleaning a park.
Yeah.
For nothing. Nobody was getting paid. So to me, that's inspiring. That was in a different organization, but to me, that's inspiring. It's something that if I was to think about something that I want this organization to do, is a lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that type of community service that you're actually putting the time to go and do something. It's good to do charities in which we're collecting money, because everything helps, and we get to serve different charities, but be able to literally go and put your time to serve your community. Yeah. That's what's inspiring. And so whenever I see those type of charities, those are the ones that I love the most.
Like especially like all the talk about mental health and all that people are giving their time to make someone smile, because we never know how the next person is feeling, and just go out there and like, hey, can I help you with something, or make someone laugh that you don't know technically, and to get a smile as a payment, that's more effective than doing something and get paid in money. So because when we do something, as like I see an old lady somewhere struggling with doing stuff and we help her, it doesn't just mean for her that, okay, I got the help. It means for us, like, we are still humans, even though, okay, sorry for the foul language, people are fucking stupid because, and I mean, a lot of people are rude and all that, and we don't want to see that, because
No.
we have to be just one, because if we are not doing that, then this world will probably be dead in 100 years, 200 years, because
Yeah,
all
if
of
we're
the
not there
hatred.
for each other. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that is one thing. I'm obviously I'm not gonna name names or say from where and all that, but I know for a fact that this brotherhood has literally saved lives on brothers that were in difficult times. They were going through very dark times in their minds, and right at that time when they were getting to that boiling point, that desperation point, they had a brother coming to them, and they were able to reach out, or suddenly somebody noticed that they were not responding for 1 or 2 days, so they did everything they could to go and find this
yeah,
person, and I believe and I know for a fact it literally has saved lives.
yeah,
And having that type of support group in a time like this, I would have gone mad if it wasn't for this organization,
yeah,
because I was used to spending my days out of my job and in a club where thousands of people will come in every day and being very active, and suddenly going from that to being at home all day.
yeah,
To me, if I didn't have this type of connection, it would I know that it would have been a very difficult time. And without even, I mean, if you want to also talk about other things, going the extra mile for your brothers is, I remember in February there was a guy that he woke up to his house burning down,
yeah,
and suddenly the first thing that happened in the organization was, what can we do?
yeah,
And I remember I was with my wife. It was our anniversary, so I was coming back from we stayed in a hotel, and it was the morning that we have to come back. And I remember reading about that and saying, I was like, fuck, I gotta drive all day, but I gotta do something. So my wife was using my cell phone, and
yeah.
she
I
was
remember
reading
that. Yeah,
reading the messages back to me, and I was telling her what to write, and we need to get this going, and we were organizing with Devin and Jan, and everybody was getting involved, and we ended up getting about, I don't remember the exact number, man, but it was north of $6,000
yeah,
for this guy that lost absolutely everything in his house. And the best part of it was that when we started doing all that, Faisal, he said, whatever you guys collect, I'll match it.
yeah,
The beer struggle will match it. And the beer struggle and the MBB and the Brand Vikings and everybody got together, and we went the extra mile to help one person that was in need in our organization. And to me, that is, I don't even know how to put it in words, man. Being able to go to bat like that for somebody that honestly you don't even know in
yeah.
person.
And
Like the guys
that's,
that spend time with him know him, but everybody else doesn't know him.
yeah. It's like for the positivity rate that is on our Discord, going to their Instagrams and all that, saying something nice, and we are here
Yeah.
for you, bro. It's like when I was at the hospital, uh, Paul, my general, let everybody know I was in the hospital, and my phone didn't stop that evening. I was like, I'm trying to relax in the hospital. I was just reading my phone, and I was talking to the guys, and they had uh, all of a sudden a meeting on Google Meet, and I went there. I was looking like shit. I was like drugged out from the doctors and stuff like that. And the first thing they said, he is alive. And I was like, alive.
But what a difference it makes, right? What a
Yeah,
difference it
I
makes
mean,
to
that
have that type of
meant a
support.
lot to me, because I never thought, because I've been in part of this positivity rate many times, and being all of a sudden on the other side, then I noticed like, wow,
Yeah.
this is huge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it is massive to know the amount of support from across the world. Well,
yeah,
I felt that in I didn't had a situation like that, but I remember my birthday this year. Uh, it was insane. The amount of support and people reaching out, and I was like, God damn, we have a lot of people in this organization, and a lot of people who care. And I think that's the most important part, is not having a bunch of guys, but having a bunch of guys that are actually committed and they care. And again, nobody's forced to belong to this, and that's why that's the thing that a lot of times makes me not popular. But when I have somebody that's bitching all the time about everything that's going on, I'm like, dude, why are you here?
yeah,
just nobody. This is for people who want to be a part of it. If you don't want to be a part of it, there's no hard feelings, man. Just go do your thing, and we'll still be friends. But if you want to be a part of this, then give it your all. Don't
Like,
half-ass this thing.
I think the hardest thing is also like if someone joined and been promoted up to, from freeman up to recruit up to warrior and been really active, and all of a sudden it disappears, and then we all always start thinking like, what did we do wrong? Like it's the hardest for us, the other guys, that all of a sudden we are bonding with this guy and all of a sudden he disappears. So instead of like making us chasing the goose with him, and it's always been, okay, I cannot be a part of this, so that sucks if people are
right. But then you realize that, I mean, if somebody gets their patch and gets to be called a brother,
yeah,
and suddenly disappears, they really didn't want it that bad.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So then that's the part that sometimes makes me feel maybe our recruitment process should be longer,
yeah,
so that we really know who really wants it. You know, if you're still here after a year, then we know you're in for the long haul.
yeah.
Because when I see somebody disappearing after a couple of months, I go, well, what were you doing, dude?
Yeah.
You really didn't want it that bad. And it's okay. I mean, if this is not your cup of tea, well, there's no problem. We want to have people that are going to be committed to what we do. They're going to be committed to each other, and they're going to be willing to give their time for something that honestly, the goal here is for this organization to outlive us all.
Yeah.
That's something that Faisal has said it. I have said it. Jan has been in that meeting as well. I remember we had this meeting with Joe and Steve from Canada, and we're all saying we want this organization to outlive us all.
Yeah.
If we can have kids today, your underage sons today, the guys that have kids that are 10, 11 years old, something like that, or they just had babies. If we can have those guys patched into the organization 20 years from now, that is what it's all about.
Yeah, that like my daughter loves putting on the TBS hat and my MVP hat, so that's why it surprised
Little
me.
show maiden.
Yeah, and I don't know if we should talk about that, but
no, because we haven't launched it yet, so I can't really talk about that. But yeah, but that is on the way. We want to have a place. Yeah, we want to have a place for the women that support us, because that is another thing, man. I'll do it quick because I know you have questions, but I think giving that recognition to the women that are behind this is very important, because we spend a lot of time on this. Okay, I am working, and when I'm not working, I am looking at messages, and sometimes my wife will catch me at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. responding messages from the other side of the world, and I have to explain to her. And I told her, no, it's not that we never stop, and these guys are sending messages at 2 a.m. It's about 8 a.m. in the other side of the world, 10 a.m. in the other side of the world. So
like
we're connecting with people.
Us.
Exactly, 7 hours between you and me. So the fact that we're a global brotherhood means that it's 24/7, dude. It never stops. The clock goes around all the time. So it is very important to give them the recognition for the time that they allow us, because every minute that we spend with our brothers and doing charity and organizing events and all that is honestly time that we spend away from our family. And and although this is our family too, if we don't include the shield maidens, if we don't include our wives and our significant others and our kids into this organization, what's going to happen is it's going to be harder and harder to spend time in this organization if it's not including your family.
Yeah.
Because to me, this is my family. Midgard Viking Brotherhood is my family, but my wife and my daughter are also my family.
Yeah.
And if I have to choose between them two, it is a shit decision to make. So the best thing that we can do is just include our families into this and make it this massive worldwide family. And then there's a no-brainer, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to go all Vin Diesel on you, but
Fast 8 was filmed in my hometown.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, the submarine scene.
Oh,
it was in the harbor
far.
On my. Even there's a house there. It was named by after my grandmother. So
I haven't gotten that far in the Fast and Furious. I want to get them all. I think I watched the fourth one was the last one that I watched. There's like 9 now.
Yeah, they're growing. It's like I have it like with the James Bond films. I'm like, new one.
There's so many of them, dude.
I will probably be around 50 when I finish watching them all.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're gonna keep making them.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the TBS project, because I know you had the a meeting, the Instagram live a few days ago, and there's new design on the products and new products.
Yes. So what happened there is the evolution campaign. So the beer struggle obviously has gone through many different labels and looks, and since its inception. I mean, anybody that has been using the beer struggle for a long time, if you look at what it looks like today and back then, they're two completely different things, right? The quality is always the same, the everything is always the same, but I think the main thing about this new launch and this particular evolution campaign is the fact that we have made a little leap as a company, and we've gone from being a small company, a small family-owned company, to being, we're making that transition into a big company. Like, I don't think people realize how big the beer struggle is, because our CEO and founder is such a what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody who doesn't look for accolades, doesn't look for, he's humble. There you go.
Yeah, humble. Yeah.
All right, and there you go. That's one of our values, humility. He is such a humble guy that he doesn't like to boast about the size of things, but this company is much bigger than a lot of people give it credit for. And as a company that is that big, we have a responsibility to remain quality oriented. We have a responsibility to remain customer oriented. We have a responsibility to do a lot of things that give back to the people that helped us get here, right? Because we didn't get here just because of what we did. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? I mean, if we didn't have everybody that is loyal to the brand and is loyal to our products, nothing would be possible. So being able to give back during that transition is what's important to us. So that's why a lot of the things that you see in evolution is not just the packaging. That is one thing, but behind it, there is suddenly, we have 24/7 customer service. That's, I don't know if anybody realizes how big that is, but that is massive.
And they're company always ready to help you. Like
always ready to help.
I've used that online chat. I've called them, and like their service is so amazing. And I mean, like with new packaging, jumping from this technically empty looking glass with a TBS logo and 1-2 stripes on it, going to this, it's more visible, and you can see it more. And like, oh, if you're using it if you go here, like here in Iceland, like to the swimming pool, and you're putting it in after being in water with full of chlorine, and putting it in, and like, what are you using? Then it will be more, it's attracting more people.
It's a different look. Yeah, no, 100%. And it is every aspect of the company, right? I mentioned the customer service side. Marcel and his team are on point all the time. That's a huge thing for us. Then we have this year, without going too far, this year at the beginning of the year, we acquired the warehouse next door to our Canada facility, and we built, well, I say we, but I mean, obviously I didn't put hands to it, but we got a lab. We hired Roxana. She's the head of our research and development, and Roxana has her own lab. She's master's in, I hope I'm getting it right, master's in biochemistry, and she has her own lab that she gets the formulations done. She's putting a lot of science to back the product. Suddenly you're going to notice that this launch is not just the packaging. There's a reformulation behind every product. So now our oils, suddenly we'll realize that some products that you find in nature have DHT inhibitors, which is not ideal for men. It's not harmful, but it's not ideal if you want to have the best beard. So we figured out ways to make our product even better by putting those conditions in. Now we have no DHT inhibitors in our oils, which is the thing that goes closer to your skin. There's a reformulation behind the balms. There's a new product called beer butter for those that don't want to have the extreme hold of the bomb and they just want the beer to be soft and a natural look, you put the beer butter on. It has all the properties, but without the hold. And then we're working on new formulas for shampoo, new formulas for conditioner. There's a whole skin line coming out by the end of the year. So there's a lot of science behind our products. That is part of the responsibility to keep the products good. And the good thing is this: even though we're becoming that big, and even though we're fulfilling the amount of orders that we're fulfilling every day, and production has to increase the way it's increasing, we never lost that small batch company feel. We are still a small batch company. Products are not made by a machine by the thousands, like a lot of people think. Products are made by hand by one person, and none of our products are made in batches bigger than 50 to 100 products.
Yes, she's the Wonder Woman of the company at the moment, because like this year has been so big for TBS. Like we got the cologne kit, we got the Wexter, now the new lines. I mean, and new scent of oil, Alfheim's Forest. It's been a lot of things going on this year.
There's 3 more scents coming.
Yeah, don't make me spend more $3,000.
But that's the thing, dude. It's just there's so much in the pipeline, because it's Faisal is restless, man. He always wants the next best thing, and this guy has so much energy. Every time we finalize one project, he's already thinking about the next project.
Yeah.
So it's a never ending, never stopping situation, which is why the company has become what it has become since its inception. I mean, this started with him and his parents. In his parents' basement, or his parents' sink, just trading around with product, and suddenly there is 2 facilities worldwide, a full lab, and an entire production teams. We are making a move soon. Probably shouldn't say this, but we're making a move into retail very soon. So there's going to be a lot of things in the future, but we still have that responsibility, right? We have the responsibility of keeping that customer service part going with Marcel and his team, the responsibility of the research and development being on point, following regulation, which is a big one for us, is staying compliant with all those regulations. We have our cruelty-free, we're certified cruelty-free, by Leaping Bunny, and Roxana keeps track of all that. Harjeet, who's our director of global operations. This guy, dude, every product that you see, every shirt that you wear, everything, he had his hands in finding the best possible suppliers for that. And he has so much work. Then you have, you have James and the web development team. Then you have Paul, who leads the creative team. James used to lead the creative team as well. So you have Jan works in the background. Wasim works with all our big brand ambassadors and masters, the big names that we have: CT Fletcher, Rampage. We have Hafthor, the Mountain. We have all these guys, and Wasim is the one keeping in contact with those guys, making sure that everything they need. So there's a whole bunch of people behind the scenes. Hafsa leading the UK warehouse. We have all these people in this company, and everybody has that mentality of getting 1% better every day. That is something that Faisal drills into the culture of the company every day. 1% better every day. And something that to me is the most important thing is integrity. We need to work with integrity.
And
this
also,
is one question.
And also
one question that
Vikings,
with the brand Vikings too. And one question that I've been asking for almost my entire career hiring people. I've hired a lot of people in my career. And the one question that I cannot miss is, what's your definition of integrity? Yeah. You either know it or you don't. And if you don't know the definition of integrity, I don't know if I want to work with you.
I mean, it's like for me using these products, I've tried many products since I started growing beer. And at some point, like, okay, I had maybe out down here using some product from someone else. And I just gave up because my beard got like really dry. Okay, use this oil. I put the oil in after 2 weeks. It was even drier. But it's something about the TBS. It's not just the product. It's like, how everything is behind the products, like cruelty-free and
all natural,
all natural,
give back. You talk about give back to the community. The amount of money that the beer struggle just donates to BC Cancer, to PTSD foundations, all the resources that are put into creating the MBB, so the MBB can be a force of good in the world. Doing charity in 20 different countries. It's all about being a company that operates with integrity, and it's about a company that is operating with the communities in mind, right? Because those communities and those people in those communities are the ones that are giving us the success that we have. So it would be just ridiculous for us not to give back in exchange for that. So that's what it's all about.
Especially like about the cancer, is because most of people in the world have seen their loved ones or are battling themselves with cancer. And I got so many bracelets that few cancer that when I was visiting my grandma in her cabin, I took an extra bracelet because I know she's battling cancer for the second time.
Oh.
And I told her, like, for behalf of me and of the TBS, this is a gift for you. It's just like they are funding cancer research and all that, fighting cancer with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just to remind me of this horrible disease, but if you know somebody that has cancer and you have an extra bracelet, give that person the bracelet, and that makes the person like, okay, I can do this, I can fight this horrible thing. And because I would never wish upon my worst enemy to have cancer.
No, it's a terrible thing. I mean, everybody has, that's true, man. Everybody has at least a loved one. I remember my uncle had a battle with that. But yeah, it's just a matter of being present with our communities and be able to help them.
It's similar like with the mental health. If you know somebody, be there for that person, because it works the same. It's breaking the person down, and even though it's a different kind of disease, that if we show them support, then they will start thinking, okay, I will fight this through the end. So like with the Vikings, that they had probably 1 or 2 arrows in their shoulder and they still fight. And I mean, knowing someone that you love so much and it is battling this horrible thing, it breaks you down a little bit too. So
no, absolutely, man, absolutely.
Like you said earlier, we have over 500 members in 20 countries, and big jump starting this.
We're getting closer to 700, man.
Yeah, it's huge. And I'm hoping also that I will have more members here in Iceland.
Oh, you will 100%. You will.
Yeah, but the problem is,
by the way, the Seahawks turned this game around. Okay, we're 21-13 now.
Score.
Yeah, 21-13 for the Seahawks.
So I'm a kind of a lucky charm.
Yeah, we're gonna continue this until the end of the game, bro. No, I'm kidding.
Like me and 5 a.m. in the morning, like I need to go to sleep for 10 minutes. I think you answered all the questions I had.
Did I?
Yeah. Well, what do you think is the biggest plus of being a member of the MVB? That was technically answered.
Oh man, hands down, having family all around the world.
Yeah.
Whenever we can start traveling again, I'm gonna be hitting so many of you guys. It's gonna be ridiculous. But having the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I want to visit Iceland. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't have had anybody to visit in Iceland a year ago. Now I'm gonna go visit you guys.
Yeah, it's like when the TBS came to Iceland. I was watching Daki, and I saw it from TBS. And like, I'm gonna meet up with those guys, and all of a sudden, like, everybody like, come and meet us. I'm like, all right. And
did you go?
When they was outside the church, I was like, I'm gonna meet up with them, and I was doing something else, and I sent Daki a message. Are you in Reykjavik? Yeah. We are eating. Where? You can see it in my post. There's just a picture of a plate of food. I was like, this tells me so much. And I was like, damn it. And they went to the Black Sands. I've been there a few times, and last year, this year, my missus went to, there's a plane crash. It was a plane crash 180 years ago. And we went on an ATV on the Black Sands, and a few places that there the TBS filmed. And if the TBS will come back to Iceland, I will probably gonna let them know, if you want to film in a real Viking house in Iceland, let me know. I can take you there. It's
Nice.
Eric the Red.
Well, they're in Norway right now.
Yeah, I know. Freaking Craniac.
Craniac is having the time of his life.
Yeah.
Did you see? Have you ever seen that that video that goes, "Hey, what's your name?" Tom.
Yeah. I saw it today.
Fuck you, Tom. Yeah.
That's off. Ezekiel. I'm like, what's your name?
And they're just crossing their votes. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But they're having so much fun, and I mean, I love that they get to do that type of stuff. And
also
fun,
having
right?
Thor in this, because I was watching yesterday. I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and my sister like left her ass out. It's like, this guy, the character is so look like one Icelandic actor. I said no. Try to go on Instagram and write this name. I wrote Thor's name, and she went like, they look exactly the same. Like, yeah, they probably took a mold of Thor's face to build that game.
Yeah, dude, he looks like whatever you would imagine a Viking would look like.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but the effort they put in those film sessions, it's incredible. I mean, when you look at them, dude, they're it's like you're looking at a scene from the show Vikings.
Yeah,
it's just that professional.
It's that
professional, and it gets better every year.
Yeah, and I think Craniac fits perfect in the.
I can't wait to see him.
And because how we have seen him in the past, in the chat and all that, and all his videos, he's funny as hell. And all of a sudden going to be a brutal Viking all of a sudden, because we know he is. And
did you see the video where he got announced, where they announced that he won? That he's sitting with his legs crossed with a Viking suit drinking tea, and they call him.
Yeah.
I love it. But no, it's gonna be fun, man, and it gets better every year. So I can't wait to see what they're going to bring, this year, to be able to, and we're just, I mean, this company, I mean, we're talking about the beer struggle, and we can't talk about MBB without talking about the beer struggle, because obviously the beer struggle is the biggest beneficiary of MBB, and we use so many of the resources. But the beer struggle has gotten out of triple-digit growth 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So the amount of support that we get from everybody that is a consumer of the brand is incredible. I mean, the fact that we have our returning clients, that's a very important thing. How many people use your product is not really much of a difference, but you want to know how many people, once they use your product, they'll continue to use your products.
Yeah.
And the fact that our numbers are always over 50% on that is just, it shows that if you try this product, it's better than a flip of a coin.
Yeah.
That you're gonna come back and try it again, because they're just that good. It's just, we send this product to a retailer that we're working with. You guys are gonna find out who it is pretty soon. We're gonna be announcing it. We closed the deal with them, and we send. We were in talks with a lady, and her husband has a beard, and we told him, you know what, we want your husband to try our products. So we sent her a box full of our products, and we asked her a couple of days ago, so what did he think? Oh my God, he loves it. He can't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
So now he's going to continue to use the products, and that's what it is. It's just that good.
Like I do. I bought the oil sample kit when I bought it first time, because I always used the Viking Honor, and all of a sudden, like, I want to try this sample kit, and I love the smells and every smell there is in the sample kit. So I decided, like, a few weeks ago, like, I have to buy another one. So I bought another sample kit, like, because I want to smell good before I go to sleep, or I especially use it right before I go to sleep, or if I'm going somewhere nice, then I can choose, like, I always like smell it a little bit, like, okay, put it like next.
I love, you know what I love? I love converting people. So I will buy the samplers, the oil samplers. I'll get some of those. And then whenever by the way, we scored again. So 28-13 now. Anyway, when we started this conversation, we were losing 7-0.
Yeah.
Now we're winning 28-13.
The Scandinavian blood.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'll buy the samples, and whenever I see a guy with a massive beard, I'll give him this the little box with a card inside on instruction on how to order after. I'll tell, hey, try this. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. It's like
No strings attached. No strings attached, man. You just try it. If you don't like it, throw it away. If you like it, here's how you find our products. And I love doing that. And then I don't keep in touch with them. I just see on the back end. I'm still a brand Viking, so I can still, if you use my code, I'll still see it on the back end. And I love seeing the little cells coming up, and I'm like, fuck yeah, they loved it.
It's like I did to my brother yesterday. Yeah. I'm like, because I told him, because I got
happy birthday to your brother, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. It's today, and he was.
There you go. I got it on
still
time.
Celebrating being 29 yesterday, because I ordered the scrubs, the body scrubber and the ear scrubber, and when I got the package, I opened it like, whoa, there's so many boxes in that box. So I took one beard scrubber, okay, and another one. I just ordered one pair, like third one, fourth one, and the body scrubber, like 4 body scrubbers also. Like, oh, that's strange. And the call with TPS customer service, like, I think there was a mistake. What? Yeah, you sent me 3 more than I ordered. Really? Like, yeah, what do you want me to do? Keep it. We don't want you to send it back. Like, really? Like, yeah. And that's and that's also like, if they fuck up their order on your order, like put some extra stuff in, they just well, it's our gift to you. So
it was our mistake. We're not gonna make you fix our mistake, you know.
Yeah, and I told my brother, like, you're trying to grow a beard, like, yeah, I'm gonna give you some body scrubber and face scrubber, and I didn't have anything else, and I didn't know what to give him for his birthday, so I went up to my shelf here in the office, like, I have still
put all the products in there.
I have 2 bottles of Alvin's Forest shampoo and conditioner. I put one in one. I have 1 extra beard oil. Give him that. And bracelets and the sticker. It's like he was ordering from the TPS, like, here you go.
Perfect. I got all the bracelets, dude.
They're all on my shelf. So
you're gonna like the next one that's coming out.
I have See You in Valhalla, After Cancer, and Bearded and Beautiful.
Yeah, well, the last one that we had is this one, Destination Valhalla. But the next one that's coming out, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but the next one that's coming out, you're going to like it.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
And I'm missing Beer Delicious that Krennic showed us when he won the Beer Delicious competition.
Yeah, where's mine? I used to have a Beer Delicious. Oh, damn, I don't have a Beer Delicious one. I gotta find one. It says I am Beer Delicious.
Yeah, and it was so funny to see Krennic using that one, showing his bracelet. I am Beer Delicious, and I won the Beer Delicious competition. I was like,
such a character. I love that guy. Such a character.
He's amazing, and
yeah.
And like thinking about all the brothers, it's like, damn, I'm lucky to know all these guys today, because I never thought.
I mean, I look at starting with the High Council, man. I mean, Jan, you have Jan. Jan is such a dedicated guy, man. Such a dedicated guy to this organization. It's incredible. And then you got Dane, Erwin. They're just Devin. They're just all in, dude. By the way, congratulations to Devin. He got married. What is the third? He got married yesterday.
Yeah. And I was talking to Jan on his Facebook. He was posting his new song, and I was like, you know, I'm writing music, and all of a sudden, like, do you? And he found one of my songs, like, I can listen to this driving along the beach. It's like, hell yeah.
I didn't know he did that, dude, until I saw it on Instagram. But no, dude, we have such a good group of people, such an incredible team. Not only on TVS, but MBV, Brand Vikings. Everybody is just amazing. Oh, dude, almost an interception. Sorry. I just caught it in the corner of my eye.
Yeah, and I mean, like, everything I've seen, like, in the MVP is like a lot of guys. We have policemen. We have truck
Every walk
drivers,
of
we
life.
have
Every walk of
everybody.
life. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And showing them. And also I was talking to one in France, and he was like, we were talking about when I was in France, and he said, like, if you're going to France again, let me know. And if you want to break from the city, you can visit me and you can stay here, because he lives a little bit outside of Paris. I was like, oh, really? And that's also the dedication of everybody. Like, I told my brothers in Scandinavia, like, if you come to Iceland, let me know, and I will take a break from work and I'll show you around. And if you need a place to stay, I mean, I know.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You ever visit Washington? Let me know.
Yeah, one day. If I won't be dead at the time.
when they lift all the restrictions, we'll be able to travel comfortably. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it's been a wild ride, and it's just beginning, man. Next year is gonna be incredible.
I know the general in Scandinavia, Paul, is coming to Iceland in January.
Nice.
So because I'm going to give him a gift when he comes here, and some talking about Vikings. I found out this summer that we had vodka here in Iceland that is called Loki, and I've been drinking that like no tomorrow. And good, so it's been a big journey for everybody to be part of this, and
no, it definitely has.
And it grows. Even the guys at the warehouse I'm working here working for here in Reykjavik, they're always like, why does your beard always look so good? And I mean, if you want to join, you can buy. Yep. If you want to do some products, you can buy products. And when I'm wearing my MVP hat, I'm like, what does it stand for? And I just turn it around, see the logo, and like, what is that? It's Brotherhood. Oh, think about it. Let me know.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm proud, man. I'm proud to be a part of this, and honestly be able to be a part of this with all of you guys. It's just fucking great. It is honestly. I mean, I never thought that I was gonna end up where I am right now. And when COVID started and my club had to close, I was in a very, very bad place. And it's like they say, man, I mean, a door closes, but a window opens, right? I mean, there's always a new thing ahead. And as long as you have the right mindset, you gotta be able to just stretch out and just grab it, dude, and make something happen out of it. So it's been amazing. And next year is going to be even better.
Yeah, can't wait to see, like, both the TPS will grow bigger and also the MVP, and it's been growing a lot fast.
Yeah,
in the MVP.
No, it's gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be wild.
And it's like me and Paul, the Scandinavian general, has been talking, like, this year has technically been just a trial year for MVP, and next year's then 100%, the real thing starts, and that's good for that. Everybody has been learning on this Brotherhood and connecting, so we can help all the new guys.
Yep.
Much more, because we are still learning, even though that
all the processes are going to be ironed out next year. It's going to be incredible, dude.
Even for the founders like you and Jan and everybody, that you're still learning every single day, and I'm still learning, and there's something new every day. We are seeing all different kind of people coming every single day and asking about it outside of the Brotherhood, and like, what is this? And oh, this sounds interesting, and like I say always to the guys, like, think about it and let me know. I mean, don't jump on this if you're not sure if you want to be in this.
Yeah. So exactly.
Because we want to be in this for the long run, all day, every day.
100%. Like I want to see the sons of patch members today become members when they turn 18, however many years from now.
It would be fun actually to see us, all the old guys, sitting somewhere, like, see the new guys walking past us, like,
I am excited to see who's going to be
something good.
I am excited to see who's going to be the second generation that comes on board.
Yeah.
The son of a member. I'm excited to see that, man.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be like I said, sitting somewhere and see some group of guys walk past us, like, wearing the merch, wearing the patches,
all the young bucks.
Yeah, and then we can say, like, we did something good.
Yep. 100%, brother. Yep.
So thank you so much, Zeke, for this, and can't wait to see the future. how
Oh
it
yeah,
brings
dude.
us.
I'm excited. I'm pumped. It's gonna be really, really good. And thank you for having me, bro. I mean, I know we said we were gonna knock it out in about
10-15 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes, but
It's been,
what do we have so far? Hour and 40 minutes?
yeah, I think so. I have to cut it into parts for the Instagram. So it's going to be hell of a work to cut it into like part 1, part 2, part 3.
You're
So,
gonna, you're gonna have some editing to do, brother.
yeah, it's our first. You're actually the first one to be in our Instagram TV series.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to tell you that I talk a lot. My bad.
Yeah, I've seen that in the ground, in the town halls and everything. So I knew what I was going into. So
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much for having me here and for doing what you do over there, bro. Honestly, if it wasn't for you guys putting all the work that you put all over the world, it would just be an impossible task for us to be able to make this happen.
thank you so much for spending the time both watching the game and jumping in to do this. So
Yeah, if they start losing, I'm gonna call you back. Okay.
yeah. All right, then I have to put my
They scored
notification on
again.
my
So
phone.
if they start losing now, oh no, they the 49ers are not scoring since we started doing this. So this is fantastic.
So
All right, brother.
next game, like I have to call Simmi from Iceland.
Yep. We're gonna have to do this again.
Yeah.
My brother, thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to see this online.
Okay. Cheers, brother. Thank you so much.
Much love to you all. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.